Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm in Pasadena at the Gamble house, which was owned by the Gamble part of Procter & Gamble. Honestly, I don't know very much about the house, which is why I'm here to check it out. So let's go in. David Gamble had already retired from Procter & Gamble when he and his wife commissioned the architects Green & Green to build this as their winter house. Electricity in the early 20th century was still a newfangled thing, and although many houses had started incorporating electricity into their homes, they still relied on gas and kerosene lamps. This house was built in 1908, and it was the first house in Southern California to be an all-electric house. No gas, no kerosene. This was also the first house in Southern California to have a garage for a car. Horse and buggies were still the more common transportation mode, and although some houses had incorporated car garages on their properties, they also still had carriage houses for the horse and buggy. No horses, no buggies for the Gambles, only a car. The house took 10 months to build, and the driveway took another year after that. We couldn't go inside the house because of COVID restrictions, darn it, but the wood flooring has a chevron pattern, and the bricklayer said he would replicate this on the driveway. Getting a chevron design with bricks is a lot harder than it looks, but he did a spectacular job. These are the original bricks which have never needed replacement. Now, he told the Gambles that the driveway would last, but there couldn't be standing water ever on it. So you'll see that the house is built on a hill. They designed drain pipes that would take rainwater and bring it down under the house. And then when it comes out to the driveway is sloped, and they have gutters on either side of the driveway, and all of that gravity pulls the water away from the house, away from the driveway, and down to the street. Take a look at these vines. These are the same vines that were planted over 120 years ago when the house was built. Notice how they go under the steps. Mary Gamble had wanted them to cover the complete front of the steps so that from the street it would look like they didn't have a front door, that the house was just enclosed in vines. But the city said no. So the vines were just grown under the steps instead. Here's the front door. Now you can't tell too well on this side, but this image along the front door is the tree of life. Here's a view from the back of the house. You can see how pretty it is. A lot of Southern California is outdoor lifestyle, even back then. So these large porches were considered living spaces. Also, tuberculosis was still a dreaded disease, and the treatment was fresh air. So that was a compelling reason why the Gambles had these outdoor spaces. Now take a look at these windows. You're going to see this motif repeating throughout the house. The bottom part represents clouds, and the top are the sun's rays shining through. The architects, brothers Green & Green, were heavily influenced by Japanese architecture, not only in its aesthetic, but also in the construction. If you look at these joints, this is traditional Japanese construction, and they've held up extremely well over the last century. Here's a view of the living room from the screen door. Notice the Tiffany lamps. They are beautiful. Now on the side, take a look at the corners of these steps that lead down to the yard. Really interesting, huh? These are designed to confuse any spirits that might try to come into the house. Now there's no mention of mysticism with the Gambles, not like there was with the Winchester House in San Jose. This detail is in fact from temples in northern Japan. These beautiful panels provide ventilation into the basement. This second floor porch was where Mary Gamble wanted her sons to sleep when they came to visit. Again, she wanted to make sure that they got plenty of fresh air so they would not get TB. As we head on around the back, we have another outdoor living area. You can see the Japanese influence with the lantern on the wall. The wall is made of what's called clinker brick. These are bricks that were placed too close to the fire, and they were basically considered trash by bricklayers because they lacked uniformity. Each one is unique. But a lot of people really liked that look, the uniqueness of the clinker bricks. And I also think it's really beautiful. Here's a look through the screen into this beautiful dining room. Now notice the windows in the back. This was a technique that was created by glass artisan Emil Lang, so that the glass would always appear to be glowing even if the sun wasn't out. But he was so afraid that Tiffany would steal this technique that he didn't write it down, and he was the only one who would treat the glass to get this effect. And when he died, yeah, the technique died with him. No one has been able to replicate it since. Here's a view of the full back of the house. Now, notice the same cloud sun motif on the windows. And also, there's another back porch for family members to enjoy. One of the things that's really wonderful about this house is that it stayed in the Gamble family until 1966, when it was deeded to the city of Pasadena. David and Mary Gamble's children and grandchildren realized what an architectural achievement it was, so they preserved it even as they lived in it. The original architects not only built the house, but they custom designed and built the furniture, which is still inside. And one of these days, I will get to see it. That was really interesting. Right now, because of COVID, they only have a tour of the exterior of the building. I am hoping they will be able to open the interior up very soon, but it's totally worth it to come over and do a tour of the Gamble house. If you like this video, then check out the Winchester Mystery House. I hope this helps you find your adventure. Thank you for watching.